when the saints go marching in.
Vox Fidei brings you into the inner life of the Word made flesh. Father Chris guides us in the lives of the saints in Saintly series.
Welcome, it's Saintly series. Today we celebrate Saint Ignatius of Loyola. Born Inigo Lopez, Saint Ignatius was one of the 11 children born to the noble family of Bertrand Rennes de Onars in the family castle in Loyola in northern Spain. He pursued a military career growing up, but when a cannonball shattered his leg at the siege of Pamplona, that ambition ended. For all the time he was being treated, he desired reading romantic books, but when finding them was not available, the only available books were one, the life of Christ and the lives of the saints. After reading them, he had asked himself the question, if the saints could do this, why not I? Having seen the Mother of God in a vision, Ignatius of Loyola made a pilgrimage to the shrine at Montserrat near Barcelona and spent about a year in Manresa with the Dominicans. And there he would often visit hospices, caring for the aged and looking after the sick. He also stayed by himself in a cave in the hills, but he would spend time in prayer, in fasting, in works of penance, and take time to always go to the sacraments, especially the Eucharist. It was during this period that Ignatius of Loyola began his journey of conversion, and he began to write down materials that later became his greatest works, the spiritual exercise. Later in his life, Ignatius trained for the priesthood and was subsequently ordained. At age 43, Ignatius attracted some young men to his way of life, which was a life of poverty, mortification, and prayer. Among these men were St. Peter Faber and St. Francis Xavier. Pope Paul III of them has stated that these priests were the centerpieces of a new religious society. He noted that the well-trained and educated members of this society could serve the urgent needs of the church, the need at that time to overcome worldliness and ignorance. And so, upon the approval of the Society of Jesus in the year 1540, Ignatius was now elected the superior general of the Jesuits. This society, the Jesuits, grew in number, and their presence became so obvious across different towns of Italy. They took care of the poor, they preached in street corners, and took their time to explain scriptures, morals, and doctrines. They also encouraged the faithful to receive the sacraments as often as they could. Ignatius vehemently opposed Protestantism, and one could see and hear in his voice the power of ecumenism each time he spoke. His fruits were also evident in the Jesuit Society, which later produced one of the greatest ecumenists of the 20th century in the person of Cardinal Bea, whose contributions were very instrumental at the Second Vatican Council. Ignatius of Loyola died on the 31st of July, 1556, and on the 12th of March, 1622, he was canonized by Pope Gregory XV. Ignatius calls us to look deeply within, and he says, The more desperate things seem, the more we must hope in God. When man's aid fails, God is close at hand, a helper always. The color of the day is white. St. Ignatius of Loyola was declared the patron saint of spiritual exercises, the patron saint of retreats, and those in difficult times. He is also the one to invoke when making hard choices or recovering from unexpected events or going through physical or spiritual darkness. What we offer the saints is veneration. God bless you. I am Father Chris, Vox Fidei.
Oh, when the saints go marching in. Oh, when the saints go marching in.
Vox Fidei, God is in charge.